Hey, look, this person requested me on Insta.
Do you know them?
No, but look how many followers they have.
Isn't that a bit dodgy?
Yeah, but if we're friends with him, then doesn't that make us cool? We could hang out with him or something.
But we don't even know who he is.
But he's popular.
So you're telling me that you want to hang out with him just because he's cool?
Well, yeah, isn't that what friendship is?
I mean, we shouldn't just be using our friends for our own benefit. Like, of course there are benefits in friendships, but that shouldn't be the reason for them.
Wow, really?
Yeah, friendship is a grace. God gave us friendships so we could have community where we can build each other up and help each other grow nearer to God. We need to ask ourselves, like, why are we seeking friendship? Is it only for personal gain?
Well, if that's selfish, then does that mean we always need to put our friends first?
Well, no. Healthy friendships need a balance. We must learn to be selfless friends, but when we put our friends above everything else, they can also become our idols, and rather than seeking to please and follow God, we end up seeking to please and follow our friends. No matter how good a friendship is, if it turns into our idol, it will definitely damage our relationship with God.
Well, I know that, but I don't really understand yet. Has it happened to you before?
Yeah, actually, it has. I had this friend a few years ago, and we were like really good mates. But towards the end of primary school, he started to care more about popularity. And though I didn't really care about it, I started acting differently just so he would accept me. I realized that I was idolizing him, and that I changed myself just to fit his expectations.
Yeah, in friendships, I either don't care enough, or I'm putting them as an idol. I didn't think that I would ever have my friends as an idol, but I can relate to your explanation. Like, I went out of my way to please and impress them. And the stuff you said about true friends, what really is a true friend?
To know what a true friend is, we need to go and look at Christ. Through our unfaithfulness, Christ calls us as his friends and promises to never leave us. Like in John 15 verse 13. His death on the cross was the sign of his ultimate love for us, in that he was willing to die and sacrifice his life for our salvation. None of our earthly friends can compare to the perfect love and loyalty Christ has. But we are still called to follow him and walk in his footsteps, using him as an example of how we should be a good friend to those around us.
How?
Well, when we're called to be selfless friends, that means that we need to put others before ourselves. And we need to practice forgiveness, like how Christ has already forgiven us. And we also need to have a humble character, just like Jesus. But I think most importantly, we are called to be loving friends. And doing so means that we share the good news with our friends. And that means we evangelize to them, like it's commanded in Matthew 28 verse 19.
Yeah, I haven't shared the gospel with anyone before. Like, I know I need to start, and at times I want to, but I have no idea where to start and really how to do it.
Well, before we even begin to evangelize, we need to know the motive of evangelism first. It isn't a rule book or something that we do purely because we're commanded. It should come naturally to want to share the good news to our friends, and to share the joy that we have in knowing God. We first need to know God and experience his goodness, as well as know and believe his word ourselves before we can evangelize.
That's true. We can't really proclaim the joy of something we haven't experienced before. There's been a few times where I wanted to evangelize, but I never ended up doing it.
Why is that?
I think it's the fear that they'll judge me or reject me, and that I'll lose my friends. I mean, what if nobody listens?
Yeah, I used to have those fears too, and sometimes I still do. But those fears are centered on ourselves. We evangelize for God's kingdom, not for ourselves. If they don't accept the truth, they're rejecting God, not us. Being judged and rejected is expected, just like how Christ was persecuted for sharing the truth. We shouldn't get angry. Instead, we're called to love our enemies, and bless those who curse us, and do good to those who hate us, and pray for them which spitefully use and persecute us.
Okay, but then if rejection is inevitable, then why do we even try in the first place?
Yeah, they might reject the word now, but see, it's all in God's time. Like one day, maybe they might accept the word and turn to God. So, in that sense, we still need to share the gospel to them, because we never know. You know, God might work through us someday, and one special day, they might come to know God.
There's so many things we need to remember. Really, is all of that even possible?
Well, in reality, if we do it all by our own strength, it is impossible. But that's why we have to always depend on God, to guide and to give us strength and wisdom when we need to share His word. We always need to pray, and we need to ask God for the courage to face unbelievers. As Christians, we know that God is sovereign, and by keeping this in our hearts, it will help us to persevere.
There's so much to learn about friendship that I didn't really know about. You know, the person who requested me, yeah, I guess accepting the request for popularity is selfish of me. Well, thanks for all the advice. I'll keep it in mind.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching until the end of the video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Stay tuned for our next video coming up, where we will talk about achievements and grades.